Hey everybody, welcome back to Restriction Bourbon. I'm DMC from Louisville, Kentucky. Today I'm doing a head-to-head comparison of Old Granddad 114 Bourbon Whiskey against Old Overholt 114 Rye Whiskey. So I've been wanting to do this comparison for quite a while. I've got them both poured already here. I tried to mix them up. A little hard to mix up two different glasses though, so I really won't know exactly which one's in which, but can't wait to get into them here. But a little history here. Both of these bottles are now Jim Beam products, distilled by Jim Beam. And they were both acquired in 1987 when Jim Beam took over National Distillers. So National Distillers was making both of these in the 70s and 80s. So Old Granddad has always been a Kentucky product. It was created by Basil Hayden and named after his grandfather, Old Granddad. So, Jim Beam has a Basil Hayden line of bourbons, but this Old Granddad is along that same family tree, really. This comes in at about 27% rye in the mash bill. Jim Beam doesn't officially publish their mash bill, but it's widely agreed that it's 27% mash bill. And Old Overholt started out in Pennsylvania as a high rye whiskey. After being acquired by Jim Beam, it has been brought down to more of a Kentucky style rye, which is probably closer to 51% rye. But since 2020, this Old Overholt is now non-chill filtered, which is nice. And both of these are 114 proof. So we've got a 114 proof bourbon and 114 proof rye, both made by Jim Beam Company. So, all right, let's pick up the first glass, give it a nose, give it a taste. All right, I am getting some caramel on the nose on this. A little bit of wood on there too, but cheers. Initial, right on the front of the tongue, some sweetness, but it definitely turned into spiciness on the tongue, top of the tongue. Some oak presence there, some heat going down the throat. So a nice warm feeling in the chest there. Nice Kentucky hug, as they say. So that's nice. It's got that initial sweet. It's got a nice cinnamon spice on there, and that lingers. But you do get that sweetness. It is a caramel sweetness, and the finish on this is very long. It's lingering. And it's both sweet and spicy, so nice. Second glass, give it a nose, give it a taste. All right, this one is definitely not as sweet on the nose. Still get a little bit of wood presence on the nose. Maybe even a cornbread smell on that too, so it's nice. Cheers on the taste. Definitely different. Has a little sweet, not nearly as much sweet as that first one. Maybe a little bit more oak drying on this one. The spice on the tongue is a little hotter. But the spice down the throat is less hot. The heat goes away pretty quickly. The spice on the tongue is lingering a little longer though, so it's nice. All right, let me cleanse my palate with a little sip here, and I'll give them another taste. One more time. And there is some sweet there. but it turns into a pepper. This is more of a peppery spice. I thought the first one was a cinnamon spice. This is more peppery. And a little bit of astringency there. So, but yeah, it definitely wasn't as hot going down or as warm going down the throat. But the spice level on the tongue, it's pretty prickly, pretty spicy. And the first glass again, real quick. Got a real faint hint of just when I first picked up and noticed that time. I got a little faint hint of a Play-Doh aroma and all that, which is not a bad aroma at all, but it's always reminds me of like a salty, doughy aroma. So it's not a strong aroma. In fact, as I keep smelling this, I don't even pick that up anymore. But it was just a first initial whiff after picking it back up. So. All right, this one is probably not as sweet as I first thought it was either. So, in fact, these are very, very similar. Aromas are similar, tastes are similar. I think this one does have a longer, lingering finish, and it definitely just seemed a little warmer going down the throat too. So very, very similar, honestly. Neither one stands out as exceptionally, better or worse than the other in any category. So I probably prefer the nose on B. Just by a hair. Taste on them both were similar but different. Definitely, this first glass seemed a little hotter going down, and the finish was longer, so that was nice. The second glass. Didn't seem as hot, so both being the same proof point and all. It's interesting. The sweetness keeps coming and going. So between these, so it's there, it's gone. The spice is there, it's gone. As I did say, this one has a little bit more oakiness on it. A little bit more oak astringency on it. This one just seemed a little harsher going down the throat. So I don't know if I could call either one of them better than the other or my favorite, but if I have to, I think I might lean towards B there too. A is just ever so slightly harsher and hotter. So price on these varies around, I know, Granddad 114, you can get from $20 up to $30 around here where I live in Kentucky. And this Old Overholt 114 is more $35 price range. If I'm calling this Glass A and the second one Glass B, I've got to say Glass B gets the nod today, just ever so slightly. I like the nose a little better, and just the experience, even though it was a little bit more drying oak on there, it wasn't as harsh and wasn't as hot. The finish on A was a little longer though. So see what we have here. So A is the Old Overholt rye. So this is the rye, and B is the Old Granddad. So the bourbon. So there we go. I guess I picked the bourbon over the rye here just by a hair. Very similar. I'm actually surprised at how similar they are. definitely both went back and forth in several aspects. So just an interesting taste off. So give the nudge to the old granddad though. As always, thanks for tuning in. If it's your first time visiting my channel, welcome. If you've watched before, welcome back. Hit that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel already. And, leave some comments on this video, what you think of Old Granddad if you've had it before, Old Overholt if you've had it, if you're chasing either one of these, or they're your everyday drinker, let me know. Appreciate any feedback. All right, everybody, remember, all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon. The best bourbon comes from Kentucky. Cheers.